I'm gonna need you to go now.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi, guys.
This is being recorded so people
Oh.
see you.
Hey. Hi.
Okay, you can go now.
Oh, you got it.
I did. Thank
Good
you
job,
so
Mom.
much. Yeah, let me walk out, close the door, please.
Why are you kicking me out?
Thanks.
This is our room.
Bye.
Why didn't I don't want to be in here anyway?
I know. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Love you too.
Love you. Whew. Happy Sunday, y'all. What are y'all doing today? What did I take you away from? Can you guys hear me if the phone is like this? Probably not.
Took the remote in here.
It's always something. Well, it's another Sunday. More Sunday stories. I'm here with my hoodie on. It says prayer. My guest this week on the podcast makes these hoodies. So they say some other stuff too. I mean, he's got other stuff that he does, but he does clothing, art, stuff like that. Get my water here. Hey, everybody. Tell me what you're doing today. This might be a shorter live because I don't have my stand and I have to hold the phone the whole time. So, let's see how far I get before my arm gets tired. But now, apparently people are taking notes last time. So if you want to take notes, go ahead. Organizing and cleaning. You guys are so good about cleaning. I'm not going to show you what my house looks like, but you guys are so good about cleaning. I love that. Clean for me. That's the one thing when I start making, I guess, what I consider good money, I'm going to hire a housekeeper just to do the laundry and everything. Like just to do the laundry, but everything. Cook, clean, all that. But we're going to get into it. Today we're going to be talking about, am I the toxic one? Last week we talked about knowing what season you're in and trying to work through the frustrations of being of living through sort of where you are, and how to get through every season so that you don't get frustrated. But, in those seasons, you might find that you are, causing yourself to be stuck in seasons. Some people, and I probably said this last week, some people like staying in certain seasons because it means that they don't have to do much, right? People like the self-examining stage and they stay stuck there and they become hypercritical of themselves. But if you're examining yourself, that means that you don't have to do the work because you're still examining. So you ain't got to go out and do the work. And so people like that. So, as I'm sharing my stories with y'all, this came up because there's a time in my life where it just felt like, not that things weren't going my way, but just my life was clouded by so much negativity. And I was blaming other people and thinking it was everybody else's fault. And I realized, you know what? It's me. I'm toxic. And so I want to kind of talk through that with y'all and then tell y'all what I did. Because if you're in this space, then you can do it too. Okay? All right. Anybody else cleaning today? Anybody doing anything fun today? I'll be watching football a little later. Hopefully. But am I the toxic one? I laughed about this maybe a couple weeks, maybe even months ago. With COVID, I don't know what time of day it is or what actual year it is, whatever. But I was burning sage in my bedroom. And I'm burning sage, I'm walking, I'm smudging and burning and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, one of the ashes fell on me. And, rather than dying out, it kind of sparked up. So now I'm like trying to put out the little fire, but I still got the sage in my hand. I can't do it with phone. But anyways, I almost caught fire, y'all, burning sage in my house. And I was like, whew, that was close. And I was like, the point of burning sage is to get rid of negative, evil, bad spirits in your house. And I thought to myself, oh my God, am I the evil spirit? Is it me that's negative? Am I the one that the sage is after? Right? And I think, we don't often think about that. We find ways to blame other people and other things in our life when things are going wrong. But sometimes the universe is telling you that it's really you. Like that particular day, the sage was saying, no, Brandy, it is you. Ain't nothing in this room that's negative but you. And so I really had to check myself. So how do you know, or how can you recognize if it is truly you that's the toxic one? Now, I think all of these things in and of itself can be symptoms or signs that you're toxic, but especially if all of these, are combined at once, totally, you're the toxic one, right? So first thing I would say is, how do you know if you're the toxic one? Well, your life is full of drama. Your life is full of drama. Now, that may be because of the people that you have in your life bring drama, or the situations and circumstances that you put yourself in contain drama. But if your life is full of drama, you might be toxic. And why do I say that? What's drama? Well, there's always something going on. There's people that I know that, if I call them or check in and say, how are things going? Oh my God, so much today, right? Like they never just there's never not something going on in their life. There's always something, some catastrophic event, some, life altering, life changing, basically every situation in their life is life or death. And there's always just like, a story around it. It's like turn on Jerry Springer. Like, you're never going to turn on Jerry Springer or Maury and be like, oh, that was such a good episode. It's like, no, you tuning into that because it's drama. Because, somebody did something with somebody and now we're trying to find out who the baby daddy is or whatever. Like, it's drama. And that's how some people's life is, just full of drama. One catastrophic event after the other. All right. And some people do fall into just unfortunate circumstances. I mean, if you believe that things are coincidence or everything happens for a reason, I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. I'm saying it's not by chance that people's life is full of drama. But if your life is full of drama, there's a chance that you are the toxic one that's orchestrating this somehow. The other sign that you could be toxic is you blame other people. Okay? Now, sometimes things are other people's fault. But if everything that is going on in your life, you find somebody else to blame. Okay? Oh my God, COVID happened. I can't believe this is happening to me. All right? You don't have any money. Oh my God, it's not fair. Nobody ever thinks about me. Right? Your car breaks down. Oh my gosh, no one came to help me on the side of the road because my car broke down or whatever. I ran out of gas and nobody came to save me, right? It's always somebody else's fault that something bad is happening to you. And if such and such would have just blah, 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 if my job would have let me off at 3:30 instead of 4:30, then I could have XYZ, right? You're always blaming other people for things that are your own problems, right? Because it's never your fault. You don't take accountability. It's not your fault, their fault. The other thing that is a signal or a sign that you are toxic, if you have trouble letting go of situations, circumstances, and people. Now, when I was younger, I would say I had, when I say younger, I mean like in my 20s, I really had a problem letting go. I have, I guess you would call it abandonment issues. Maybe a psychologist or therapist might call it something different. But when I was young, we moved a lot. I probably went to maybe 6 or 7 different schools by the time I was in middle school. And so I found myself like attached to people or attaching to people, right? So when people were negative in my life or I knew that people didn't mean well for me, I didn't want to let them go because I'm like, I'm tired of starting over. I'm tired of having to find new friends. I'm tired of, going in and out of relationships or whatever it was. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to let go. I'm just going to stick it out. It's not that bad. It'll get better maybe. And I struggled to let go. And so I think, in my 20s when I started, I guess you wouldn't call them serious relationships, but I started getting relationships. I was like, oh no, this is bad. Like, all the red flags, not even red flags, fire flames bursting up. I'm just like, no, but you can't, you have to figure out how to make it work. You got to figure out how to put the fires out because you don't want to let go of this, right? Because again, when you have a lot of drama in your life, you're used to drama and you're like, let's just keep the drama going. Because I don't know what peace looks like. I don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. I don't know how to exist outside of this toxic environment. So I'm just going to stay right here. I'm not going to let it go. I know this is bad, but maybe I'll do a little less bad. I know this is terrible. I don't like feeling like this, but let me just keep it going because this is what I know, right? So you struggle to let go. The other thing to identify if you're toxic, if you always are stuck on the negative. So you're just like, if somebody says, how are you doing? Oh, today sucks. Oh, it's Monday. Mondays are, how Mondays are. Right? Mondays are just so bad. Like, oh, how are the kids? Oh, being a parent is so stressful. How's work? Oh, another day. Like, everything's just so negative, right? You're just constantly focused on the negative. You can't see the positive. You can't see the light. It could be a sunny day, 70 degrees. People are giving away free ice cream and whatever. And you're just like, out there giving away free ice cream. I just can't believe it, right? Always negative. Even things that are supposed to be positive. Somebody says good morning. It's not a good morning. It's raining outside, right? Somebody says happy birthday. Oh, I wish my birthday was happy, but COVID. Just throwing COVID out there because y'all use COVID for everything. The next thing I would say is how to identify if you're toxic. You just have an intense need to be right all the time, right? You just have to be right. And this happens a lot, especially when I'm coaching people in accountability. I might offer a suggestion for them to do something. And they'll say, no, that's not going to work because blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, I know some other people that struggle with that. Have you tried doing it this way? Oh, no, I tried, or I could try, or I just know that that's not going to work, right? Or people find themselves getting into arguments over the littlest things, right? If I say, what time is it? And I'm looking at my clock, it's 12:13. You're like, well, my watch says 12:14. Okay, so it's about, 12:13 or 14. Well, no, but it's 12:14, right? And people go back and forth with you just so they could be right. And that need to be right really stems from a need to be validated, right? Everything's going wrong and you can't really figure out why. So if somebody asks you the time, you're going to be right on that. You're going to know something, right? Your value is going to come from knowing something a little bit more than somebody else knows, right? And so you have to be right about something, whatever it is. The sky is blue? No, it's light blue. Okay, it's whatever you want it to be, right? Just having that need to be right. And sometimes that need to be right is stemming from something negative. So, for example, if you watch my stories, I repost a lot of memes from this guy. I used to say Justin LaBoy, but it's Justin LA Boy. Like Justin LA Boy. Yeah. And he posts a lot of memes like about men cheating and stuff like that. It's kind of really funny. But, people, it brought up something very interesting. I was talking with one of my friends in the DMs about it. Like people say that whatever you're searching for, you'll find. So people in relationships that tend to be insecure, that go through people's phone, right? You're looking for something. And one of the memes that he posted the other day was like, my girlfriend was looking through my phone and she didn't find anything. And she said, oh, you probably deleted it. And she was right. Right? Like, you're looking for an excuse. You're looking for a reason why. And you don't find it. But then you're like, oh, that's probably because X, Y, Z. Right? You need to be right. Oh, this person is cheating on me. I know it. I'm going to find it. And then you find, I don't know, a half-drinking water bottle. You're like, must have had somebody at my house. This water bottle. Right? Because it couldn't be your water bottle. It couldn't be their water bottle. You have to be right. Whatever you assume has to be, in fact, correct. Okay? Is this making sense to y'all? Are y'all toxic? You don't have to let me know in the comments, but you could also let me know in the comments because everything I'm telling you, I've definitely been there and I've done it. This is my life, right? Now, I think that I became toxic as a result, again, of the people that I was around. I, especially earlier in life, definitely not so much now, but I definitely struggled with self-esteem. And because my self-esteem was low, my energetic levels were low, right? I was very low vibrational. So I only felt comfortable around other people who were also vibrating low vibrational, right? And I realized that those people, like, I was at a low point, right? But in my mind, I always knew that I would get out of that point and get to something better. I always knew there was something better for me. It's better for my spirit, my mental health, my physical health, my well-being, my financial health, like everything. I just knew there was always something better. The people I was hanging around with, that was kind of it for them. Like, this was definitely their life. They have identified as like, this is going to be it for me. I'm negative. I'm going to fight people. I'm going to have, whatever jobs make ends meet. Like, I'm not chasing anything. And so I kind of fell into that. It was just being toxic again, being in relationships with people that, I remember being in this relationship with this person that everybody told me, like, don't be in a relationship with this person. Like, this person is not for you. But in my mind, I'm like, no, this person is great for me. Not consciously thinking this, but very subconsciously thinking like, no, this person is great. This person is not really ambitious, right? They're not going to do a lot with their life, meaning they're not going to require for me to change or do anything more with my life, which is great because I wasn't ready to do anything better or more, right? This person is not going to challenge me to be a better person. They're not going to hold me accountable. They're not going to, if I'm slacking on something, they're not going to call me out on it, right? Why would I want to be in a relationship with somebody like that, right? So in my mind, I'm like, this is perfect. This is the perfect low vibrational relationship that I need, right? There was a healthy amount of drama, like we were arguing out all the time, but some of the time. And I was like, cool, because this gives me an out. This means I don't have to look inward. I don't have to do the self-examination. If something goes wrong, I could blame them. If I'm having a bad day, I could pick a fight and I know that they're going to fight back with me, right? I know if I set a goal and I don't accomplish it, they're not going to care. Because whatever we're at and whatever we're doing, that's perfectly fine with them, right? They don't care, which meant I didn't have to care. And I freed myself up to not care, okay? I'm not saying this is good. Maybe you have done this. I'm just saying you get in those relationships, you have things going for yourself. You're working out, you're going to school, you got the job, and you get this person that's always available and not really doing anything with their life. You're like, you know what? I don't have to go to the gym. I don't have to eat healthy. I don't have to do anything because this person is perfectly fine with who I am as I am. And so I can be a toxic person and that's okay. Okay? But then again, back in my mind, I'm like, I want more. I don't want to be toxic. I don't like this drama. This is a lot. Drama is not cool. How do I get out of this? So I started thinking about ways or things I could do differently. So again, seasons of life, self-examination. A lot of people, maybe just on my timeline, because I follow like a lot of health people, but beginning years, a lot of time people do a detox, right? And your body needs to get rid of toxins and mucus and things that have built up in your body over time. But the thing about nutrition is you can't always be in a state of detox. You can't always be eliminating things, right? At some point, you eliminate the bad stuff and then you have to add good stuff, right? And then you have to maintain the good stuff. And then sometimes there's a little bit of bad stuff that slips in and then you can detox again. But you can't always be in a state of, detoxing and eliminating, right? Because you just eliminate your little self away. But in order to no longer be toxic, I had to start doing things differently, which is hard because that meant that I had to start holding myself accountable to things that I knew no longer served me. And how do you know that things no longer serve you? It shows. Your body will tell you, right? I started getting, and I still have some effects now too, just really bad acne. My body was telling me like, you're consuming too many negative things. And I'm like, oh my God, adult acne. No, Brandy, like you're not eating right. You're drinking, you're not sleeping. Your skin is the largest organ in your body. Your skin will tell you when something's not right in your body, right? I started getting headaches all the time. Like, I was trying to go out and party with the same people. I couldn't hang. Couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. I started getting really irritated with myself in these situations. So when the drama came, it would just bother me. I didn't want to gossip anymore. Just like, somebody came to me with gossip, I was just like, oh my God, I don't even care. It doesn't even matter, right? Those things just weren't it. Things that I found joy in, right? Those low vibrational activities that I found joy in, I just didn't want to do it anymore. I just want to do it anymore. And maybe you felt like that. I know people in the comments are saying, yes, this is true, right? Maybe you felt like that. I just don't want to do it anymore. And some people might ignore all those signs, right? All the red flags are waving. They're just like, nah, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay here in Toxic City because that's where I'm comfortable. And maybe that's you. So this is what I start changing and doing. And again, y'all, if y'all have questions, hit the question thing because I'll answer questions about anything pretty much. So if you have questions, just type it in there. But of course, I'm going to be checking and reading y'all comments and stuff. But so this is what I did to not be so toxic. I started changing what I said and changing things that I was doing. I was reading again, started getting big into reading self-help books, audio books and things like that. Instead of tuning into the drama, I would just read all the time. Instead of going out all the time, I would just, be at home building, right? And so in order to get out of all this drama with all these people that I had in my life, I started saying things differently. And I will tell you, if you've never done this before or you have trouble telling people no, you have to practice. And I did. I had to practice in the mirror on how to say this. And I had to think through what people's response was going to be because I just needed to get myself determined that I was going to cut myself off from these people and say no. And that no matter what they said, I wasn't going to go back and forth about it, right? So when people came to me with drama, I would simply say, you know what? Today I don't have time to hear about, what happened to Michelle and Susie. Today I don't have time to hear that, right? And then I would say, people say, oh my God, girl, guess what? You know what? I'm not currently accepting gossip in my life, so let's talk about something different, right? And I had to practice that because my friends would be like, girl, are you serious? Let me tell you anyway. And I would just have to be like, no, you know what? Call me back when you want to talk about something positive. Call me back when, you want to go to the library, whatever it is. I just had to say those things. I'm not currently accepting whatever it is. Whatever I used to accept, let me let you know this is a new season, new time. Hello. I'm not currently accepting that. Or I would say, today I don't have time for it. Today I don't have time for it. Simple as that, right? And then people just stop inviting me into their drama. And when people stop inviting me into their drama, I realized I didn't have very much drama of my own. I was taking on my friends' issues as my issues because this is my best friend. If she doesn't like that person, neither do I, right? But that wasn't my drama. So when I stopped letting people bring me their drama, I had very little drama in my life, okay? So I'm not currently accepting. Today I don't have time for it, right? As my girl would say, ain't nobody got time for that, okay? And I just moved on. When it came to blaming other people, right, I had to start accepting my part in what I allowed other people to do or how I allowed other people to treat me, right? And I would just say to myself, you know what? I can do a better job of blank. Because the opposite of blaming other people is that you beat up yourself or you start blaming yourself. Oh my God, I'm such a bad person. I'm so stupid. How could I let this happen? Why do I always blah, blah, blah? I'm so crazy. You start talking negative to yourself. I just have to tell myself, I could do a better job of that. I can do a better job of having more positive people in my life. I can do a better job of, choosing a job that I don't hate. I can do a better job of talking to this person without all the negative vibes and cuss words. I could do a better job of that. All right. I will also say, because like I said, sometimes there are other people that do contribute to things in your life. And I would just say, you know what? Jason is a part of the reason why, blah, blah, blah. But they're not the whole reason. You know what? Let me use somebody's name in here. You know what? Eureka was part of the reason why I got so upset at the gas station, but I could have done a better job of XYZ. I could have done a better job of rethinking the situation so I didn't let it escalate, right? People can be part of the reason, but they're never the whole reason because you are in control of you, right? I put in my affirmations that I posted on my page today. I choose my attitude, right? I choose my attitude. So people can be part of the reason. People can definitely be a trigger for you, but they're not the whole reason why you are acting or doing something a certain way. Again, leave me questions. Hit the question icon. That's what you call it. Question icon. I was about to say the question mark picture icon. The other thing that I started doing is I started meditating and being present in the moment. I had trouble letting go of people. I had trouble being negative because my mind will always think to past situations. I had to really be in the moment, right? Something made me mad or upset 2 weeks ago. Okay? I'm not mad about it right now. So I shouldn't act mad about it right now because it's not currently happening right now. In this moment, I'm quite happy. I'm at peace. I'm fine. Life is good in this moment. In the next moment, I don't know. We'll see when we get there, right? I have to focus on the present time, not thinking about the future and not hyper focused on the past, right? Even if I was choosing to cut somebody off, I didn't still need to be angry about it. Right? When I cut, you make that a clean break and that emotion and that energy goes with that. Right? I didn't have to be mad about something or still talking about something that happened 2 weeks ago, five weeks ago, yesterday even, this morning even, because I'm in the present moment. I take things as they are and as they come. Or being negative about the future. You know, when I started wanting to change my situation, of course, you guys know me. When I learn something, I share because, you know, I want to bring the people I love and care about with me. So I started I'd be reading books and I share it with somebody and be like, oh my God, you know, one day I'm going to blah, blah, blah. You know, I posted yesterday, 2016, I was like, you know, I'm going to own multiple businesses. And I would tell that to my friends and they would be like, girl, you know, whatever. Because I graduated college when we were in a recession, right? They're like, girl, the economy is bad. You can't start no business. Girl, you don't know where you're going to be 5 years from now. You know, it would be all that, those negative things and how to train myself. You know what? I'm in the present moment. I'm not going to worry about getting there. I'm going to focus on doing what I can now until I get there. And then meditation helps with that. You know, they say 1 minute of meditation every day helps improve heart health. I'm going to start taking screenshots, pictures of this book that I was reading called Real Happiness, which is all about meditation, but gives scientific proof that meditation heals your body, can reverse effects of heart disease, right? Helps with mental clarity, all that kind of stuff. So I started meditating and living in the present moment. And then I started being less negative and less toxic, right? And again, because I started dedicating time to activities that I wanted to do, I really didn't have time to be in other people's drama, right? Didn't have time. Didn't have time. The other thing I would do with the negative is and I got this idea from another podcast I was listening to, and they were saying, you know, if something negative happens to you, think about how to rewrite that in your favor. So again, I had started journaling. If I had a bad day, I would write out everything that happened bad. This person said this and I got upset. I cussed out that person. I, kept hitting red lights and I was stuck in traffic and blah, blah. I wrote all of those negative things out. And then on the other side of the paper, I would write out what would have been my perfect day. What would have been my perfect day? How could that day have been completely positive? Because I was seeing it as completely negative. How could that have happened differently? Well, first thing, I would have woke up on time. My alarm went off and I got right up. I didn't hit snooze 17 times, right? I got right up. I got dressed. I got on the freeway. There was no traffic, right? I pulled it into work in my spot because no one was there. I got up and I went and started my day, whatever it was. Whatever would have made that day positive, I rewrite it. And I did that specifically at night. So I would end my day on a positive note, right? Because if I go to sleep on a negative note, then either I'm not going to go to sleep, or I'm going to wake up still mad because I was thinking about whatever was negative or made me upset. Which is why now, if I'm going to watch any sort of TV before bed, it's going to be something funny, right? Which is why I post so many reels late at night, because I'm laying in bed like, let me laugh a little. And I'll be laying in my bed cracking up. And for those of you that get, I post some on my stories, but for those of you that get those direct messages from me, I apologize, because it's just so funny to me. Like, I'll watch all those reels and the different doggy reels and all that kind of stuff, and I'll just laugh. And I wake up in a good mood because I basically laugh myself to sleep. You should try it, right? You should try it. Again, questions, hit the question bar, because I think I got 2 more things to say, y'all. 2 more things. The other thing is, if you have an intense need to be right and you're always negative, try something new that you don't know how to do, right? Because this is going to force you to think outside the box, right? If you're constantly doing the same things, you're going to do it in the same way. If you're forced to do something new, or you're training yourself to do something new, then it's going to cause you to think in different ways. So new for me was reading a bunch of books, starting to listen to podcasts. Again, I think I told you guys a couple weeks ago, I started going to these meetup groups, right? Started taking my son with me to like these mommy and me classes and all that kind of stuff. And I was meeting people who were not negative and full of drama. And so people were doing all these really amazing things in their life. They were starting businesses. They were, building houses from the ground up. They had just started a new career or whatever was going on. And that excited me because the environment I was in was not like that. It was not dynamic. People were not doing things like that. People were not in a positive state of mind. But I could, go on meetup.com or join a Facebook group, and people were doing stuff that was different. And so just knowing that there were people out there that knew more than I knew, that had more experience than I did, and had accomplished much more, helped me sort of lower my inhibition and not have that need to be right all the time. I recognized I was not the expert at everything. I was not. Now, I always say that I am the expert of myself, because nobody has been with me in this body, spirit, and soul as much as me. So I'm always the expert of myself, right? But I was not the expert at many things. So I didn't need to go around picking fights with people, right? I have now retired from arguing with people on the internet, because I would go in. Like, when I had my Twitter, all day, I'd be walking across the street, head down, just arguing on Twitter with people, because I need to be right. I was reading all this stuff not to enhance my own knowledge and better myself. I was reading all this stuff in case anybody asks me about XYZ. I have 17 reasons why. What's that show, 13 Reasons Why? I have so many reasons why I was right and you were wrong. I knew so many stats for this and that, and where people was getting, like, I just felt the need to know, because I just needed to be right. And now I stopped needing to be right, because I knew that there were other people that knew stuff. Not just me. So those are a couple things that I did to break out of being toxic. And I would just say, if you're watching this, don't ever think that it can't be you, right? If you find yourself just surrounded by negativity, or you find yourself blaming other people, you find yourself stuck and you can't let go of certain things, you can't let go of certain people, even jobs even. Like I always say, 2015, I quit my teaching job. And everybody thought I was crazy and were like, what are you doing? And I was like, look, I'm a college graduate. I could always find a job. Right. Yeah, about that. But I just had that confidence, like a job is a job. You can always find a job. It might not be a job that you want, but you can always, you can always find something. So I just told myself, like, look, I'm not stuck in any situation. I can always get out. I can think myself out of it. I can physically remove myself from it. But first I have to recognize that it's toxic. Am I adding to the toxic environment? Are you calling people constantly with negative information? People are like, oh, this is my friend, I just need to vent. Okay. If you vent to somebody more than twice in a month, I know you're like, a whole month, Brady? If you vent to somebody more than twice in a month, you might be the toxic one. And so don't be don't be alarmed or afraid or confused if that person stops answering your calls. They're not acting funny. They are cutting you off because you're toxic. Nobody wants to hear you constantly complain. Nobody. In fact, I told my friends, if you're coming to me complaining about something COVID related, don't even pick up the phone. Scroll right past Brandy and go to somebody else. Because it is what it is at this point. We're coming up on a year. I don't want to hear you complain about your mask, about not being able to go out and eat, about not being able to do this, about working from home. It is what it is. Because this is where we are, right? If you complain more than twice a month to one person, you are toxic and you are adding to their environment. You are creating drama for them that does not need to be there. And sometimes we create drama for ourselves. We make things our business. It's not our business. We make something a problem. It's not really a problem. Right? People say all the time, oh, I don't know how to blah, blah, blah. Google, YouTube. All right? There's a lot of people don't like talking to me for extended periods of time because I'm going to come up with a solution. Because we're just not going to keep talking about this problem. Right? Questions, y'all. What y'all want to know? Yes. I shared The Alchemist, but the other book is called Real Happiness. Sharon Salzberg. It's a 28-day meditation something. And of course, every time I get on live, people text me like they don't know I'm on live. Get with it. Y'all don't have no questions? Talk to me. Okay, somebody said, what were the things I said? Oh, today I don't have time for. I'm not currently accepting. What's the other thing I said? Blank is part of the reason why, but I can do a better job of blank. Those are things. I have plenty of other sayings that I say. If somebody calls me with drama, because sometimes, people really do need to vent. They don't have anybody else to talk to. I say this to my students all the time. Oh my God, can I tell you blah, blah? I was like, yes. You have 5 minutes to vent, complain, or tell me whatever you want to tell me. And I want to make it clear that after that 5 minutes, I, Brandy Vernado, am not taking any actions on anything that you said. You could tell me you're broke, your car's on fire, your children are starving, you hate yourself, you're going to dye your hair, orange and yellow. I would listen for 5 minutes. And when that 5 minutes up, I say, thank you, great talk, and move on. Right? Because people will always come to you with a problem, and they'll make it seem like they're not asking you to fix it, but they're only telling you so that you can fix it. Right? Case in point, I asked a friend of mine, hadn't heard from them, maybe a couple days. I'm like, hey, what's up? I haven't heard from you. How are things going? Oh, I'm all right. Okay. I just said, okay. I didn't ask further. And they're like, well, yeah, because, I haven't been working like I normally am. And I spent all this money buying Christmas presents and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, yeah. Right? And they just keep going on talking about their problem and their money problem. And I'm like, wow, okay, right? Because I'm not offering and they're not asking, but they're asking, right? And they kept going. It's like, yeah, I just need $1,000. Girl. Woo, that's crazy. Well, good luck with that. Yeah. So it is what it is. People come to you with problems, or they'll tell you about somebody that maybe you have a mutual friend with, and they're trying to plant negative seeds. Yes, make tank tops with my sayings on them. Yes, because summer is coming. Tank tops. No more hoodies, hopefully. Yes, not being toxic with your children. Yeah, let them have their own experiences. And sometimes, we try to save people from lessons that the universe is teaching them. Like, oh, I need to jump in and stop them from making this mistake. No, that's their lesson. Their lesson is going to be in that mistake. Let them have it. Because sometimes people are choosing things. We think things are happening to people, and people are choosing those things to happen to them. And not saying that they're all bad, but it may not be the best decision. It may not be the best decision, but people are choosing that. And I always think that when people are done with whatever they're done with, they will choose something better, right? They will choose something better. I think experience is the best teacher, but it doesn't always have to be your experience, right? Wise people learn from other people's experience, right? I don't have to go through a bunch of negative experiences to know that some things are negative, to know that things won't be good for me. I have to know myself. I think the more that we can experience ourselves, our true selves, our true understanding, which I think meditation is a huge part of getting to know yourself, journaling, any kind of physical activity where you get to know your body and push your limits. Eating healthy allows you to connect further and better. I'm not saying I eat healthy all the time. I had fried chicken today and waffles, and I ordered mashed potatoes on the side. Like, carbs, fried food, But tomorrow I'll get up and I'll have a green smoothie and I'll do my yoga and I'll drink my gallon of water or whatever. I have to be aware. I know when I'm doing something that's not right or not good. But everything in moderation is fine. It's when you fully give into that negativity. That's a problem. Right? I am vegan most days. I'm trying not to. I read this book. Well, I'm reading this book, Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, which is basically like a course in femininity and spirituality, but it's a book. Okay. And she was talking about, basically being on this alkaline, herbal, plant-based diet, etc. And then somebody else wrote an article about reading this book and going through it. And they were saying, that you shouldn't hold yourself so strictly to certain constructs or ideas, right? Because if I say I am a vegan, again, going back to last week, I am said. If I say I am a vegan, then that means I do these set of things and these set of things only. So if you saw me with leather boots, you would be like, Brandy, you said you were vegan, right? If I, whatever, I don't know, what's something that I mean? Sprinkle some cheese on my taco. You'd be like, but you said you were vegan, right? And so holding to those constructs means that I'm essentially boxing myself in. So am I vegan? Yes and no. I eat vegan most of the time. I would say 95% of the time. And then there's that 5% where there's fried chicken and waffles and I eat it. There's that 5%, right? Like I'm not the kind of vegan that's constantly checking the labels to be like, oh, it has this, I'm not gonna eat that. But I eat mostly like just mostly plant-based, no dairy and no meat, 95% of the time. That's what I would say. Yes, wise people learn from other people's experiences. Because who got time to be having all these negative experiences just for the lesson, right? Somebody else learned the lesson, you can learn from that. But if you don't understand the lesson in somebody else's experiences, you might have to take that experience. Yep, but there's always lessons. Always lessons. Any other questions, y'all? I just got a notification. It's Betty White's birthday, so if y'all wanted to know. Any other questions before I go watch some football? Happiness is a choice and it takes work. It's easy to be sad, but it sucks. Yeah. Happiness is a choice. And I think too that we have to understand that either being happy or sad, positive or negative, it's never like a complete thing, right? And I don't really, you know, gauge my happiness by percentages or whatever, but you can be happy without being completely happy, right? You can be happy without being completely happy. For example, and this happens to me a lot because I'm a planner. So let's say I plan some kind of event, right? Let's say I'm planning a birthday party. So I'm like, the birthday party theme is Lion King. And I go out to get all these Lion King decorations. And I want this Lion King backdrop. And I want the little cupcake to say, you know, "Roar" on it. And I want a little dancing Simba. And I want a Scar pinata and blah, blah. And then I go to the store and I can't find the Scar pinata. And I can't find the Lion King tablecloth. And now the backdrop I wanted, it's not big enough, so it's actually not going to cover the wall. And, you know, only one person can take a picture at a time on the backdrop instead of 4, right? I can still go to that party and have a good time and eat cake and laugh and dance and be merry, even though it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to be, right? Even though I hate the fact that we didn't get this pinata. Oh, that would have added so much joy to this event. But it could still be a good event. So you can be happy and still be sad. You can be happy and still be upset about other things, right? You don't have to be. I think we have this idea that we have to be 1,000% completely happy and satisfied with everything in order to say that we're happy, which is not true. How do you get your BF to understand if she is negative or toxic? I stopped talking to her a lot because I just can't. I don't want to sever ties before I really try. Yeah, that's hard. I think that having a conversation, like I say to people all the time, do you notice that blah blah blah? Do you notice that every time I pick up the phone, you start with, "Let me tell you what happened to me today," right? And I have them like, it's not so much you're calling them out, but you're calling their attention to things that they do. If you go somewhere with them, and like, I had to do this too, like I have a friend that gossips all the time. So we would go somewhere and be like, "Girl," you know, or like, we'll go out to eat. Not anymore. You would go out to eat. "Oh my God, look at that person's hair. Look at their shoes. Look at what they're wearing." We're like, "Do you notice?" And every time you go out to eat, you just find somebody to start talking about. Oh, but you do it too. But do you notice that most of the time you initiate that? Oh, but I'm just saying, but look, but do you notice that? Okay. If they say, "Yes, I noticed that," or "You do too," blah, blah, okay. Well, I'm just challenging you to take notice of that, because I notice that it happens a lot, right? And I would just say that they notice things. They'd be like, or challenge them to say things in a different way. Like, "Oh, I hate when blah, blah, blah. But don't you love when XYZ? Oh my God, I hate when my dog snores. It keeps me up at night. But don't you love when you wake up and your dog's laying right there with a smiling face?" Whatever it is, right? So just challenge them to notice. Offer a reframe for them. Offer to restate what they're saying in a different way. And then use my saying, you know, "Today I don't have time for it." Or if they call you, be like, "Oh, you know, I didn't want to talk about that." And you keep 3 or 4 positive stories in your little tool belt that you're going to throw out at them. So before they get to say something negative, you'd be like, "Let me tell you some good news. Let me tell you what the kids did today." Right? Don't feed the mental fire and stay in the now as much as possible. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And thank you, Jocelyn, for my eyebrows. I really take a lot of good care of them. I love my eyebrows. I was voted, you know, when I taught, the kids voted me best eyebrows in the yearbook, which is the greatest moment of my life. If I'm going through a rough time and it will take time to work through it, how do I answer someone who frequently asks how I'm doing without being toxic? If somebody constantly asks you how you're doing, you could tell them, "You know what? I just don't want to talk about that right now." Right? If somebody just says in general, "How are you doing?" you know what? I'm getting better every day. Use some of those affirmations that I posted on my page. I'm getting better every day. Today is a good day. Today I'm doing fine. And in a situation where you're not doing fine, today's really rough, but I'd rather not go into detail about that. Right? You have to tell people how they can support you. Otherwise, they're going to do what they think. It's very dangerous. Like, I like the golden rule, do unto others, that whole thing. But people don't always need the same thing that we need or in the same way that we need it, right? So you have to get to know what people need. If you want people to ask you, you can say that. If you don't want to be asked, then frame it that way. People that you talk to constantly say, if they know that you're going through something, like you've already disclosed, like, hey, this is a tough time. I'm going through a divorce. I just did this. I lost my job, whatever. So, I'm going through something right now and I'm working on it. You can say how you're working on it. I'm going to therapy. I'm journaling. I'm blah, 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 whatever it is. And during this time, I don't really want to have constant conversations about it. If I need something, I will let you know. And you can just say that. Because it's your life and you can determine how people interact with you in your life. So you could say that. Or again, if they ask you, how are you doing today? Today's a good day. Today I'm doing fine. Yesterday was rough, but today I'm doing fine. I'm getting better. Or whatever the case is. And sometimes people just ask you, right? You kind of got to read the room. Sometimes people ask you and they don't really know. A question I ask people a lot is, if somebody say, how are you doing? I'm like, do you really want to know how I'm doing? Are you asking me how I'm doing because you want to know how I'm currently feeling? Or is this just, how are you doing? Because some people are like, how are you doing? They're like, oh man, it's an emotional day. I'm crying nonstop, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, like, I didn't expect you to actually tell me how you were doing. Yeah, you don't have to share a lot. You just tell people. I'm not comfortable talking about that. Yep, keep it short and simple. But again, if you have close people that, you're going through something and they are aware about it, they are concerned about you, then you can just have a blanket statement about how you respond. All right, because that happens a lot too. I had a friend who was going through divorce, and everybody was calling her every single day. Oh, I just saw him, blah, 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 at the Home Depot. Or, have you talked to him today? Or, what's going on with that? Where are you at with your divorce? Like, one, that's really personal. Two, like, I don't want to be saying, like, I'm going through a divorce. I have to get used to not mentioning this person and talking about them constantly. But you guys want to talk to him constantly. And so she's like, I had the same conversation with her. She's like, what should I say? I was like, when they ask about him, tell them to contact him. This was your whole husband. They have his number. You want to know how he's doing? You should ask him. But today I'm doing great, right? And just move on from other things because you have other things going on in your life besides that impending divorce. Right? You have other things going on. If they want to talk about the other things, let's chat. If not, let me let you go so you can call him and ask him how he's doing. And that's that. And that too, and I say, I was talking earlier about relationships. And I would be, I'd be in a relationship with somebody and then I wasn't. And people be like, well, what happened to so-and-so? And I would always be like, they're no longer with us. And people are like, oh my God, did they die? No, they're no longer with us. So we don't have to mention them, right? I know that like it's cool or it seems like really important for celebrities to announce like who they're dating and when they're not dating anybody. If you no longer see me with somebody, assume we no longer associate. All right, and we don't have to have this awkward conversation. Well, what happened and how are they? Because everybody who needs to know what happens knows what happened. How am I doing? Today I'm doing good. I told you I had some fried chicken, which means I'm going to go to sleep soon. But I'm good. I'm good today. Yep. Other questions before we get out of here. It's almost 1 o'clock, y'all. Yes. If you tell somebody something, if people got some dirt on you, they're ready to run with it, which is why, I had to get very comfortable with decisions that I made and just focus on self-love and building my own self-esteem and confidence. So, I don't care what people know about me because I don't consider anything that I have done or that I'm doing as negative. So, people don't have dirt on me. They may have information, but what are you going to do with that information? I stand by everything I do and everything I say because people will go run and tell it to whoever in an attempt to harm you or cause harm to you. Oh my God, did you hear what Brandy said or what she did? I remember I was doing a live one day and one of my former coworkers shared it with another former coworker, and they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said blah blah blah." Like, of course you can believe it, because the same thing I say on my live, I'll say to anybody. Like, obviously I don't talk about people. I won't say anything about somebody that I won't say to somebody. And usually if I'm saying it to somebody else, I've already said it to that person. So it does not come as a surprise. Like if I'm talking about working as a teacher or all the complaints I had on my old job, trust me, everybody that has worked with me has heard those complaints. Because I said them openly. Because I try to make some changes. Because I say what I say. I don't have to hide. I say, my ex was supposed to come on a trip with my family. When somebody asked if someone was sitting in his seat on an airplane, my family all said, he's dead now. Yeah. I said that too. But I stopped saying that because it scares people. I'd be like, oh yeah, they're dead to me. And they're like, what? Yeah.
Oh, Granny finna go to the store.
Okay. Here comes Devin, y'all. Which means the live is over.
Hey, guys. Hey, say hi to me, y'all. Yeah. Say hi.
Yeah, it's a little delayed, so they could be saying hi, but it's going to take a minute. Don't be in here bullying my people.
Wait, say hi to me. They see me.
They see you. They do. Why are you stepping on my headphones?
I don't know.
Okay.
Shoot.
All right, y'all. We're going to go now. But if y'all have questions, y'all can always DM me. I'm going to post this on my page, so please make sure you share it with somebody that you think could benefit from it, or just go back and watch it a bunch of times. Okay?
Oh, she said hi. Yay. See? They love me.
Toxic.
Yeah.
Toxic.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah.